Oh, that's a better question.
Right?
Well, it probably is a hard question to start with, but I think if you opened with the celebrating and then followed it up with that one,
Yeah.
that's better.
You get comfortable, right? And then you're
Yeah.
like, what are you celebrating?
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, it's probably not a
Right.
great start to a. I mean, I guess it's okay if you're like friends with people.
Probably depends on the friend you're with.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Welcome to Guys Fishing Weekly. We don't just fish, we hug.
Hey, buddy.
Hey. How are you, dude?
I'm doing. How are you?
I'm great. Loving life, living large, my friend.
I love to hear it.
Yeah, that's the energy I'm putting out because I've got 50 zillion things going on in my life right now, but it's good. It's good stuff. So,
Well, it's all winding down into a new chapter.
absolutely. Yes, we are definitely winding down, closing one, turning the page on. That's good. Turning the page on different things in my world and my kids, and starting new chapters. So it's pretty epic. But it's a crazy. I got 2 graduations, which involves caterers and rentals and blah, 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 right? Throwing graduation parties. You'll get there someday. It's chaos. People flying in, making plans, the hotels, all that kind of crap. So, but it's fun stuff. So it's definitely deserving celebrations. And so we got 2 of those, and yeah, and then the retirement, all good stuff.
And then life will be boring.
And then it'll be boring as all get out. I'll just have to fish and work when I want to. And
sounds terrible.
awful.
I am so sorry, man. That can't feel good.
Yeah,
So.
not at all. So, how about you, dude? What's happening?
Well, I just finished the half.
Yes, you did.
I did. I pulled it off. I finished. So that was my
marathon. How'd it go?
My minimum goal of finishing. Check that off the list.
Yep.
The more exciting news is while I didn't exactly go faster than 2 hours, I almost nailed it on the nose of hitting it at 2 hours. I went 2 hours and 28 seconds to finish that bad
counts.
boy.
Well, here's the thing. They taught us in math to round, right? So 28, that's closer. Yeah, that's closer too. We just round that bad boy down. You hit it perfectly, bro.
That's a good point.
Yes, it is.
Because that's like 2.0, 2 point was. Well, we don't need to do math. You're right. We would round down.
Simplify the math. English
2
guy,
hours.
Simplifying the math. There you go.
Simplify it. I dig it.
That's great. Proud of you, man. That's awesome.
So phase 1.
How's it feel to hit it?
It was cool. I mean, I had a feeling like that was going to be finishable, but I will say I didn't think it was going to feel as good as it did to finish it. Even though I kind of knew that I was going to, I think just the actual act of pulling it off around other humans was a big deal.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
It was awesome.
That's awesome. What was the best part about it?
The best part, I think just actually finishing it. I think I was so nervous I didn't take in the whole vibe of it all. I mean, there was a lot of people there. I think I saw that there were like 2,500 people, maybe roughly, that ran the half marathon at this event. And then there was probably another 2,500 or more, probably more than that ran. There's a 5K as well. So it was a lot of people in one area, but I was kind of like so jazzed up and nervous about actually running it and like finding where I was supposed to be to start and thinking about how to start the whole thing, that I just was in the zone. But actually finishing it and seeing my wife and daughter, that was pretty awesome. And then the whole middle part, I mean, there's different chapters of the race. The start, I had driven the course already, so I knew where kind of the race started in a way. Like the first mile was pretty flat, and then after the first mile, it starts climbing uphill. And that's when I kind of like knew the race. I was like the starting line in my mind. And I was running at a very good clip. About mile 6 in, I had like this weird heart flutter thing that I didn't ever feel in training. And so I started to panic, like I was going to be the one guy on the course that had this heart attack, and there was going to be a news story about me. And that didn't luckily happen, but I did have to slow down there. But I still, ran the thing way faster than I had run in any of the training, which was kind of crazy to me.
That's great.
So, yeah. But I think the end was probably the best part. Just
right.
Getting down there and seeing the fam.
That's awesome. So proud of you, dude. That's great, man. That's phenomenal.
Thanks, man. Phase 1's in the books. I think I'm a little off the wagon on running, trying to get the muscles relaxed.
Yeah.
And then we'll get back at it. But I think there's another one coming up at the beginning of June that I might run again. It might be a little bit harder of a course, and that would be the last. Half. Yep. That would be the only other half marathon event kind of in the area. If I was going to do before the marathon, if I was going to do another half, I'd probably have to travel somewhere else to do one. So
cool.
So yeah,
right on, dude.
Heck yeah. So
phase 1
and then
complete.
Phase 1 complete, and then this week we're all coming together.
Oh, man, I can't wait. Yeah. GF Dub, another weekend together with the boys.
An impromptu GF Dub.
Not the GF Dub trip. This is like a warm up to the GF Dub trip. We ended up getting a place that we're super stoked about, the Silver Trout Lodge in Buena Vista. We're going to go hit that and do some days on the river. The weather looks to be iffy, but who cares? We'll get out, do what we can. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So stoked, dude.
It's going to be in the 60s. We might have to battle through some rain and such, but
yeah,
we'll be able to catch one fish at least, hopefully. Famous last words. I just jinxed it.
We're gonna do better than that. I just read this morning that it's like the caddis have started way down low on the river, and so I've started to work up already, which is great. But a lot of blue wing olives. I think we'll get some good action. The river flows are ideal right now, so it's good.
You're saying
with the warmer temperatures that they've had, we had a little storm come in this past weekend, but they've had the temperatures are warm, so the fish are super active. So it's been really good. So that's
what you're saying is it's stimmy season.
Hook up the stimmies, baby. Hopper dropper will be crushing.
Stimmy topper, stimmy dropper.
The double stimmies.
Yep.
Give me an orange one, give me a yellow one.
Maybe green.
Yeah, maybe olive. Blue wing olives are coming off. So, dude, no, I'm super stoked. Can't wait for you to get out here. It'll be good. It'll be fun.
Oh yeah.
So,
yep. Drive up, meet up with a few of the other boys, and get out there and excited to.
Your dad's calling it the retirement GF Dub because me and Ganizer will both be there. So,
I thought that was the next one.
Well, that's what I thought too, but I don't know. He's yeah.
We'll have to talk to him about that.
It's all good. Whatever. We're just gonna be together, hanging out, having fun.
Heck yeah.
Fishing. So it'll be good.
That's the main part.
Exactly.
Just getting everybody together.
Indeed. All right, dude. Well, hey, this week I had something come across the scanner that I thought was really set well with me. Something that I was like really kind of thought was cool. And so I want to share it with you. And I'm just going to, it's about conversations and kind of a way to help your meetings with people. When you meet up with somebody, when you meet up with a friend, it beers, whatever, where you see somebody you haven't seen in a little while, maybe, or something like that, and you want to catch up. Something that's super cool and super simple to do that I think really helps kind of elevate maybe the experience, or make it make it be like, more meaningful in the way, instead of like small talk and all that kind of thing. Right.
Right.
All right. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. That's it. It's like two questions.
Is this a quiz?
No, not at all a quiz.
No,
It's
not
more
a pop
meaning.
quiz.
It's more meaningful than that. Yeah. Okay.
It's not a hey,
yeah.
let's meet and I'm gonna just drop a pop quiz on you.
So who is your favorite? No, I'm kidding. Quiz. No. Here's a question. Yeah.
Which Taylor Swift song is your favorite
of the new double drop album? Oh my god, dude! Middle schoolers are going insane. Yeah. All right. So here's the first thing I'm going to ask you: what are you celebrating?
What am I celebrating?
What are you currently celebrating in your life?
Well, I mean, as we just went over the half marathon, big celebration. I think that's been a big celebration just because I accomplished it. I stuck to it. So that's felt really good. Worth celebrating. It's hard to find a healthy way to celebrate that. So maybe you can have some pointers.
I think that there's, I don't know that there's an outward way that you have to. I think it's a lot of, inward celebration for you in terms of achievement and accomplishment. Like sometimes that's an amazing thing, right? When I think about that question, and when you're meeting up with somebody, hey, what are you celebrating in your life right now? It's such a cool way to go about like getting somebody to think in terms of positivity and accomplishment, even people who might be struggling with that. Do you know what I'm saying? And it gives them a way to, oh, wait a minute, think about that in perspective and kind of, okay, yeah, I did this the other day that was pretty cool, or I tried something new, or I learned something. I found this great restaurant that I love, or something as simple as that, where you look at that as, like as an accomplishment and something that's positive that you're celebrating,
Right. Well, I love the frame where you can get somebody thinking in a positive way rather than, so what's been going on, or how are you, or whatever. Like, everybody just goes, you've heard that question so many times that you just fall into the script of, oh, I'm doing all right. Things are busy. I'm busy. I'm doing great. Work's great. Family's great. And you're like, yeah, okay, all that's bullshit. So, how do we get to the next level? So,
yeah. And that's what I think, like that question, what do you celebrate? I don't know. It makes it maybe a little bit more intimate, maybe a little bit more meaningful in terms of that, right? In terms of, yeah, dude, no, I really care about what's happening in your life that's worthy, that's valuable. And I think gets the other person thinking in that way of like, hey, yeah, I do have value, right? This is valuable to me, even if it's the smallest thing. And so that was pretty cool. And it could be multiple things.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a alternate question to one I've been using a lot lately, which is, what has been getting you excited lately, or what are you excited about lately? Because both of those questions open up, they're direct. They're like a direct question, but they're also open-ended to the point where you can go anywhere with it. And the whole point of conversation when you first meet up with somebody is to find commonalities, things that you can agree with or disagree with, or, at least have a unique conversation about. And so if you can open somebody up to tell you something unique about their life or different about their life, I mean, that's a huge step in the process.
Right. Absolutely. I think about all the things, the celebrations that we're about to have in my family. It's a great question. Like, there's a ton of shit we're going to be celebrating here in the next couple months, as I already referred to. So yeah, it's such a cool question. I thought it was really kind of an awesome way to frame and get somebody to think in terms of that positivity.
Well, I think also it gives somebody the opportunity to sort of brag about themselves without coming off in like a douchey way, right?
Right.
I heard another question recently where somebody said, it was a prompt more than anything, but it's like they called it like the 25-second brag, and you're allowed to like brag about yourself for 25 seconds, but like that's it. And It was just kind of an interesting way to like let out the steam in the conversation of sort of like, tell me what you're celebrating, tell me what you're excited about, but about yourself in a way.
Right. Good.
What are you, so you can't just turn this on me. What are you celebrating?
I think one of the big celebrations in we've hit on this is the end of my teaching career. I think has definitely been something that I'm celebrating. My daughter asked me the other day, she was like, are you going to miss being a teacher? And, my response was absolutely. You don't do something for 25 years and not miss it. But I am celebrating its time. I've never been more sure about a decision in my life, I don't think, than this. Well, maybe that's not true, but
I won't tell Karen.
I was pretty sure about that decision too. But there's always some, you never know. I feel really good about where I am in terms of that decision. So I think that's probably the biggest celebration for me, to the point where, going into work and just being with kids has been pretty cool. I'm trying to give my focus and attention to them as much as I possibly can and tune out all the rest of the garbage that the teachers have to deal with. So that's probably the biggest thing. But also celebrating, my kids' achievements. I got one graduating college, one graduating high school. And so those achievements, those are big milestones. And to sit back and celebrate with them and be able to give them the kudos they deserve for what they've earned is really cool. And so those celebrations are pretty right up there as well. So yeah, that would probably be the big ones that are happening for me.
Hey, you got a lot to celebrate right now.
It is. It's pretty cool. I'm afraid of what's going to happen. Like you mentioned, like, oh yeah, that's going to be so boring. It might actually be boring for a little while after that. I'm going to be like, woo! And then it's going to be like, it's going to be like a sugar crash on the back end.
There's some definite truth to that.
Right?
It's a whole nother conversation. But
yeah. It's
the loss of identity that's going to come with,
right,
being the parent of two kids that are also going through chapters. You're also ending a career. Like, you're going to be a completely different man in a couple months.
Right. And I'm going to probably need
you have to battle with that.
Right. Which is a perfect segue into the second question.
Oh, Ed. Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dear.
Here's the second question.
It is a pop quiz.
So the first one is, what are you celebrating? The second question is, what are you navigating in your life right now?
Oh, that's a better question.
Right?
Well, it probably is a hard question to start with, but I think if you opened with the celebrating and then followed it up with that one,
yeah,
that's better.
You get comfortable, right? And then you're like, what are you celebrating?
Yeah.
Cool. What do you navigate?
Yeah. Tell me some shit that's hard about your life right now. That's probably not a great start to a. I mean, I guess it's okay if you're like friends with people.
Probably depends on the friend you're with.
Right.
Yeah.
What am I navigating? Well, right now, so for me, I am currently in the process of rebuilding my deck, and all of the landscaping that comes along with that. So we bought the house that we're in partly because of how awesome the backyard area was. It had kind of like a multi-layered deck that looked down kind of like over this hill. We live on like a quarter acre. It's not a big lot, but it, we look down over the hill. It's awesome. But this past fall, here I am trying to like spruce it up. I'm going to sand it down and paint. I'm like sanding. The middle deck collapses with me on it. The whole thing falls like into the house. So I had to tear that one out. Then I'm like, well, if that one's going to fall, what are the rest of these going to do? Like I get under there, rotted to hell. I mean, the whole main deck, I'm like, this thing might come down.
Right.
So that changed from like a couple $100 bucket of paint to like ripping out two dumpster full of deck wood, old rotted deck wood, and rebuilding it. And figuring out like, do we want to rebuild the exact same thing? Do we want, and you know how it is with having a wife, they have opinions and sometimes strong ones. And so those are the things that I am currently in the middle of navigating. So
yes, home ownership projects, navigation.
I don't know if you have any advice on that one. Yeah. Where's the wisdom under that orange cap of yours?
It's a pretty common phrase that I like to use. A happy wife makes a happy life. It's cliche, call it what you will, words to live by.
It ain't wrong.
No, and we too often have strong opinions. So then it comes down to picking your battles. What hill do you want to die on? And most of the time it's like, yes, dear. Okay, dear. Sure, that sounds great, dear.
I find that most of my opinions are like they have opinions about like moving forward. I have opinions about like, how can I sink my heels in and not let this, it's more like we got to move methodically, carefully. I don't know.
Right. Yes. Yeah, that's great, dude. That's good navigation. It's and here's the thing with the navigation question. I think there's, it opens the door, like the celebration thing, but it opens the door too to allow, like those kind of cool growth navigating kind of situations, like rebuilding a whole deck. And there are aspects of that. Do we make it bigger? What's the structural, right? What do we got to do different? What do we do, right? Whatever. But that's good growth stuff for your relationship, to manage differing opinions, to manage those things in your marriage, and to work through those kinds of things. Hopefully it doesn't lead to divorce like some home projects can. But that's, people who like growth kinds of things. Then there's probably navigation that's like people who have some serious issues that they want to maybe talk about or whatever. It allows, for people to be able to explore that kind of thing and ask for help and ways to do that. And I just think it's kind of like a really cool question because it allows for so much ways to take it, in terms of positive or, deeper things, whatever.
Well, I think both of the questions are very good at, for all levels of relationship, from the first time meeting somebody to the long time childhood friendship that you've had. They both in some ways are just great conversations. I think that's because they allow you to share what you feel comfortable sharing. I think we're all probably navigating a ton of different things, not just like the deck. There's also probably, health issues and financial issues. And like, the first time you meet somebody, you're probably not going to share some of those things, but like maybe with a childhood friend, it does open that door. Like, hey man, we're all struggling probably with something for the life is a struggle. And especially for guys, it's hard to admit that you're struggling with something. And so to even, if you don't open the door, crack it a little to be like, hey man, the door's open here for you to like, if you're struggling, you need to talk, like this is the chance. And it's not a like, dude, what the fuck's wrong with you? That'd be a bad way to ask the question.
Right.
But this is a way to open the door where somebody can say like, I need help.
Right. And I think that's just cool. I don't think we have enough opportunities for that,
Right.
And so those, I just thought those resonated with me when I heard, when I read it and I saw it and I was like, wow, what a great way, and then I started thinking about like, man, if I could teach kids to talk to each other this way, and communicate with each other this way, because it really does put the value in, hey, I'm asking this question because I care, because I'm interested in you. And you know what I mean? And so those kinds of things I think are important, in ways that maybe, that small talk stuff doesn't cut it. And so they really kind of set with me. And it's not super formal. They're kind of chill, and it's kind of, that approach, like you said, it's not like judgmental. It's not, I'm not here to pass judgment. It's just a way of communicating that I think really puts value into showing somebody you give a crap.
Well, and none of the questions have like a backhanded insult to them, or like where you could reframe the navigating question like, what shit's wrong in your life, so you're telling somebody like some shit's wrong in your life, like I know it, and now you need to tell me what it is, like or I can't make a negative backhanded comment about the other one, but it is like
no, totally.
Sometimes questions can be a bit abrasive in a way because they come with some sort of preconceived notion, but both of those are good preconceived notions, if there are any in there.
Right. And I think too, like, just the idea and the concept of navigation, it's such a good one for figuring shit out, because that's what we're doing. We're navigating our lives and figuring shit out. And it's a great, simple, easy way to kind of, like you say, open that door, to share some of those things like, fuck, I don't have it all figured out. Heck no.
Right. Well, I think people also want the opportunity to say something's wrong. Like any situation, if you're at a business event, what a better way, there's not a better way really to be like, hey, how could I help you? Like, is there a way that I could introduce you to somebody here? Like, what are you navigating in life that maybe I could help? I might know somebody that could help you with your taxes or whatever.
Yeah.
You can use it in any situation.
That's the beauty holistically. It's just a great thing when you're with people to use. So navigating, what am I navigating?
Yeah. Let's turn this back on you. It's always about me. Let's focus on you.
I did ask the questions. Oh, yeah. I think my navigation currently, there's a bunch with all that's happening. But one of the things that I'm navigating is parenting older kids and how my parenting changes and shifts, and finding the balance between trying to be a mentor and a dad and a friend and those things, it becomes a little bit more challenging in terms, when they're younger, you're the dad, and you hold them accountable, you do those things, you make them laugh, you make them chuckle. It gets stickier, it gets messier because they're adults now, they're young adults now. And so I think that's the navigation piece for me, is hopefully I'm not sending my kids to a future of therapy and years of lying on a couch telling their therapist my dad.
That cake's already baked, bro. When you go to therapy, they're talking about like your 4-year-old memories, not so much their 18-year-old memories.
No, but last week, my son, I was at work on Monday. I go to work Monday morning, and I get a text from my son. Hey, Dad, want to go to the Rockies game tomorrow night? He invited me to go to a Rockies game. Rockies are horrible. I'm like, of course I want to go to a Rockies game. And so then he's like, we'll have a little guy time. My son's never done that. It was awesome. I was just like, yeah. I was Sweet. Just like, hell yeah, I'm in. He's like, tickets are like $8. Because nobody goes to Rockies games. You can get in for like, he and his buddy went last night. I think it was like $1 they paid for tickets.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, we went, and it was so much fun. We took the train down, and we hung out, we ate, we laughed, we watched stupid people, and giggled and chuckled, and like we just had so much fun together. Just being dudes, and we had great conversation talking about the stuff and the changes coming up for him and his anxiety around it. And it was such a great experience and time with him. So it was really fun in that realm. And so when I think about parenting and navigating, like the two of us just hanging out, it was awesome. He was asking me questions, and I was answering them honestly and sharing my experiences about going to college and, what I would do differently. And he was real inquisitive. And so it was a really cool parenting moment. And I think that kind of, that was the upside. That was the positive side of parenting. Of course, there are always other things where I'm frustrated and I'm pissed because he doesn't communicate or doesn't do this or whatever. But it was a really, really great experience. And so when I think about that navigation, I think I'm definitely navigating that parenting of older kids, because it's different as they're moving to different phases of their lives.
So what's your North Star in this situation? What's the guiding post that you can always come back to?
In terms of
just like this navigation. So you're trying to parent older kids. Like, is there a rule that you always come back to? Like a fundamental.
I think one of the fundamentals that we've tried to instill is that our kids be informed of big decisions. And I think that's the biggest thing, is watching him take in information and, trying to impart to him, like, there is no sureties. There's no sure thing, right? Yeah, you could make this decision to go to this school and you may be miserable. And what's the worst case scenario? You come on back and we try something different. You're not locked in forever. That's the good thing, right? It's like, that's what experience is about. So I think
unless you become a CSU Ram, you can't come back from that.
Yeesh. And so, yeah. And so there's that always coming back to making sure you're informed about it and trusting yourself and your decision making. And it's okay. Like, we all make bad decisions. We all screw stuff up. It's not going to be the end of the world. And so making them kind of come back to that, but be informed, make sure you take in as much information as you can to feel good about making a decision.
Is that what you think you would have wanted when you were their age?
Yes. Yeah. I think that would have been real helpful for me. Not that I didn't maybe get maybe I didn't get enough of that taught to me, but I certainly could have used that more. I was a younger high school graduate and probably wasn't anywhere near ready for college when I went. But, I went, I almost bombed out, and I stuck it out, and I did what I had to stay in. And I ended up, powering through, and it took me a while, but I did. But I wished I had more. I wish I had been more informed on what it entailed before I launched into it.
Yeah.
So for sure, I think, I'm trying to, I think that's one of the biggest things you do as a parent is, you don't want your kids to make the same mistakes you do.
Right.
You did. But they're gonna find their own mistakes to make. And so that's just part of the deal. But that's one of the things definitely, Karen and I have tried to instill is make sure you're taking in a whole bunch of information, because they have everything at their fingertips.
Right.
And impulse control. I
got to imagine the hard part is like they're all gonna see their friends at other colleges and being like, "Fuck, that college would have been awesome to go to. I should have gone there." When things get tough,
Yeah. And
so
it's like, that college is really expensive. And that's part of it is understanding limits and understanding what you can do and not getting yourself in over your head. And so, but I think coming back to that ideal of being informed and making sure you're making your decision, being well informed is important.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I think some of that comes with, I think one of the beautiful things of, if you can as a parent, is to let your kids always know that they have a home to come back to, or a place to, if things do go wrong. And so I think, helping them and guiding them and telling them, go in with your eyes open and know the worst case scenarios are always like come back home type of thing is huge.
Yeah. And that's a tough thing to let go of, being able to command their decisions, and having more influence in their decisions. The older they get, the more you have a lesser role in that. And so that's hard to manage. That's hard to navigate as a parent, knowing, because there are times when they start heading down a certain way and you're like, that's not the direction you want to go. But you got to let them figure it out. And so that navigation is tough, because, you do want to be like, you're an idiot. Don't do that. Like, you want to judge. I want to be like, scream at them like, don't do it. But inevitably, that's not possible. They're going to do it. So,
is this a more nerve-wracking time of parenting than in the past?
I think so. I think just because, I think there's so much pressure. So like my oldest, she's graduating college. So she's going into, you're going to slowly start getting off the payroll. Like you got to pay your own car insurance. You got to pay your own stuff. You got to work. And that's real life kind of, here you go, right? Off you go. And supportive, of course, I'll do those things and be as supportive as I can. And again, like you say, you always have a safety net. We're always going to help you out. We're always going to do what we can. But you also have to figure your own shit. And then the son graduating high school into going to live by himself. Is he ready? Is he, he's got doubts about doing my laundry, cooking, I'm going to eat at Chick-fil-A every day. I'm going to, so there's those, it's different levels, but yes, absolutely. There's a lot of that, anxiety. As a parent of kids who drive, I don't sleep well when the kids are out. You know what I mean? Like, I just know you slowly start to get used to it, but there's always a constant worry that they're okay,
For sure.
That's just part of the deal that I'm, learning to deal with as my second one starts to fly the coop, So, but yeah, it's definitely tough. It's great in other ways. It's wonderful in so many other ways. Having older kids, the conversations you have about real life things and
Right.
love and the fun you make, and those are all great. You can drop F-bombs in front of them, and it's not, yeah, I get to be foul mouthed, and it's great. But it's just different. The worries are different. So,
Yeah. Well,
so it's fun navigating. It's cool. It's just part of it.
That is cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I'm navigating.
You've got a lot going on right now.
That's right.
Makes my half marathon and deck sound like child's play. You're probably just like get hammer and screw over there. You're fine. Like, look, I got some big life issues to deal with.
I know. That's why I texted you. Was like, man, I should just come out and help you build the deck. The great escape. I love building stuff. So yeah, it's fun. It's a good part of time. It's a good part of life. It's just different.
It's a fun challenge.
Yes, it's for sure. Navigation for sure.
Well, I dig it. I dig the questions. I dig the conversation, and
good.
I'm looking forward to us getting together this week.
So stoked, man. I can't wait. It's going to be such a great weekend. It always is. We always have quality time. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thursday morning, the next GF Dub adventure begins.
It's going to be a goodie. So, go
brother.
slay. All right, brother.
Yeah. I love you.
Love you too. We'll talk in a few days.
Sounds good, bro.
See you, man.
Bye.
That's all for today's episode. Thanks for listening. Make sure to visit our website, guysfishingweekend.com, to check out the GFW merch, sign up for our newsletter, and learn how to get involved with the community. We appreciate you spending even a little bit of your week with us and are glad to have you along on the journey. Stay legendary and happy fishing.